Welcome to the Explainer. So today, we're taking something that might initially sound, well, a little dry, checking a contractor's paperwork, and turning it into an absolute high-stakes survival guide for your property and, honestly, your bank account. We're talking about exactly how to verify a roofing contractor is actually licensed and insured. Look, whether you're a homeowner, a risk manager, or a general contractor, this explainer is going to empower you to protect your assets before a single shingle is ever torn off your roof. Let's jump right into a genuinely terrifying scenario. Roofing is widely considered the absolute most dangerous trade in construction. I mean, crews are working at heights, handling heavy materials, and facing serious fall exposure every single day. So what actually happens if an uninsured worker falls from a roof on your property? Well, the financial fallout doesn't just stay with that subcontractor, because an uninsured sub is often what we call judgment-proof, meaning they don't really have any assets to seize. The injured worker's attorneys? Yeah, they're going to look for whoever actually has the money. And that means they will come after you, the property owner, or they'll go after the general contractor's liability policies.
A catastrophic fall, say one resulting in a traumatic brain injury or paralysis, can easily rack up medical bills and lifetime disability costs ranging from $3 million to, get this, upwards of $8 million. Yes, $8 million. That massive liability could fall directly on your shoulders if you failed to verify that the contractor carried compliant, active workers' compensation coverage. In some of the more severe cases, if a court decides an owner knowingly hired an uninsured contractor just to save a few bucks, you could literally face direct criminal prosecution. So yeah, the stakes absolutely could not be higher.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, the hidden risks of roofing. 2. Verifying contractor licenses. 3. Decoding the insurance certificate. 4. Spotting fake COI forms. 5. Evaluating past work history. And finally, number 6, a final checklist and disclaimer.
All right, Section 1, the hidden risks of roofing.
As we establish these risks, keep in mind that this is a uniquely dangerous trade. But the risks aren't just physical, right? They are deeply financial and legal. A poorly vetted contractor exposes you to massive liabilities, administrative shutdowns, and, frankly, catastrophic water intrusion if the job is botched. Understanding the stark contrast between a licensed professional and an unlicensed builder is crucial here. A licensed contractor provides legal compliance, competency that's actually been verified by exams, and often state mediation if a dispute pops up. On the flip side, hiring an unlicensed builder is basically a nightmare waiting to happen. You're looking at immediate stop work orders from city inspectors, which halts your project indefinitely. And in states like California, unlicensed contractors face fines of up to $15,000 per violation. Plus, property owners have a statutory right of disgorgement. Now that sounds like medieval torture, and honestly, financially, it kind of is. It means you can legally sue to recover every single dollar you ever paid to that unlicensed operator.
Moving on to Section 2, verifying contractor licenses.
A license isn't just a fancy piece of paper. It's the actual legal foundation your entire business agreement stands on. Without it, everything else, your contracts, your lien rights, your ability to pull permits, it can all just completely collapse. But here's the catch. Licensing drastically varies depending on where you live. There is no federal standard for this. In California, for example, it's highly regulated. You need a Class C 39 roofing license from the contractor's state license board, which requires a $25,000 bond and mandatory workers' comp. Florida is also super strict, requiring a certified roofing contractor license through the state. But then you look at Texas, and there's no state-level roofing license at all. In states like Texas or Colorado, regulation is left entirely up to local municipalities and cities. So you absolutely must know the specific rules of the jurisdiction where your property is located.
Next up, Section 3, decoding the insurance certificate.
Now, just holding a piece of paper that a contractor hands you, that is not enough to guarantee you're protected. You need to know how to actually read it. The main document you're going to be looking for is called the ACOR 25. It's the standard certificate of liability insurance form used all across the United States. But here is the most important thing to remember about it. The ACOR 25 is basically just a receipt. It's a one-page informational snapshot issued by a broker. It is not the actual insurance policy itself. It doesn't magically grant you rights or change the hundreds of pages in the actual binding contract. It literally just summarizes the coverage types, the limits, and the effective dates. A proper insurance stack requires multiple layers of protection. For a high-risk trade like roofing, general liability and workers' compensation are your absolute non-negotiable minimums. General liability covers third-party bodily injury and property damage. You know, like if a dropped shingle smashes a neighbor's car windshield. Workers' comp covers the crew if they get hurt, so again, they don't sue you. But a fully vetted pro should also carry commercial auto, an umbrella policy for those catastrophic multi-million-dollar claims we talked about, and inland marine insurance, which actually protects all those expensive materials while they're just sitting on your job site overnight.
Okay, let's act like detectives for a second. When you get that ACOR 25 form, I want you to follow these 4 specific steps. Step 1, check the producer at the top left. That is the broker you can actually call up to verify the policy really exists. Step 2, match the insured name exactly. If your contract is with Acme Roofing LLC, the certificate cannot just say Acme Construction Inc. It has to match perfectly. Step 3, verify the limits. You generally want at least $1 million per occurrence for general liability. And Step 4, look at the bottom left box and confirm you are listed accurately as the certificate holder.
Moving right along to Section 4, spotting fake COI forms.
The harsh reality of the construction industry is that fake certificates are incredibly easy to generate. A dishonest subcontractor can just Google blank ACOR 25 PDF, download it, and fill it in themselves. It happens all the time. So you have to watch for clear red flags. First things first, look at the bottom left corner. It should clearly say ACOR 25. Check for mismatched fonts, weird alignments, or obvious whiteout marks. If the document looks unusually dark or faded, it might be a photocopy of an old expired policy that they've spliced with new dates. Also, look for missing details, like if the carrier's address isn't there. Finally, if you search the listed insurance company and they aren't on the NAIC, the National Association of Insurance Commissioners database, you might be looking at a total fraud. And a fake document leaves you completely vulnerable. If you accept it, you are basically uninsured.
Section 5, evaluating past work history.
Now, valid paperwork is vital, obviously, but it has to align with real-world reputation and experience. We need a holistic background check here. So, how do you investigate this? Start by taking their license number and searching it on the State Licensing Board website, like the Arizona Registrar of Contractors or the California CSLB. It literally takes 2 minutes, and it reveals any past disciplinary actions or suspended licenses. Next, verify their portfolio. I mean, if they only do residential shingles, don't hire them for a massive commercial flat roof, right? In states without state licenses, confirm they hold local competency cards for your specific city. And finally, check their reviews, but pay special attention to how they handle problems, because on a roofing job, let's be honest, unexpected issues always pop up. It's really about how they fix them.
All right, our final section, number 6, the final checklist and disclaimer.
We've covered a lot of ground today. The hidden risks, state-by-state license variations, how to decode the ACOR 25, spotting frauds, and checking work history. But before we wrap up, I need to deliver this very important disclaimer. The information in this explainer is designed to aid your decision-making. As we saw, local regulations and requirements vary wildly from state to state and even city to city. Always conduct your own independent research and consult with legal or insurance professionals to ensure your specific project is fully compliant and legally protected.
I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative thought. Roofing claims, like severe leaks or structural failures, they often show up on a delay. We're talking months or even years after the crew leaves the site. So when the next big storm hits, will your property be legally protected by a thoroughly vetted, licensed, and insured professional? Or are you just crossing your fingers and hoping that piece of paper they handed you was real? Take the time, do the verification, and protect your assets. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.